morning doves, noon crows, and night owls. I am to be welcome, and so are you. This is a train video. I guess it could be part 11. I'm just going to reconfirm this for a moment. Just need to take another look before I really solidify whatever I was saying. My mistake. It's part 12 of this second world tour. What we left off in the last part, we were not very successful with the train way back. But now we're going to retry this one again. Today is April 18th, 2026, Saturday, and it's 1:46 p.m. It's a really rather nice day today, but I figure I'm going to start off with this. I'm going to drive my motorcycle possibly today, but for now I'm going to continue this world tour. Just went shopping this morning. I woke up early. I'm still pretty tired, but I'm gonna do it. Okay, let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. The default speed that starts off on this train would be 8 clicks. I didn't remember that in the last video, but now I do. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Initially, the other speed from the last one was 58 because of the 8 starter speed. Now we're at 50. We'll see how fast this goes. I will try to remember when the turn comes, then I can slow down. We're at 50 right now. Now we're off, away from this very beginning, into this area. 50. Speed 50 right now. It's accelerating quite fast. 50, right? We're gonna try a little faster than that. This might be a trial and error if I don't do this good. 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 50. Come on. 58, 59, and 60. Come on. Let's get there. 60. Now we're at 60, my friends. We're already departing. There's the world. There's the final world. I have to do it really quick if I want this to be able to show. Yeah, it's a mountain. A little mountain at the end, and then a smaller mountain from all the bigger ones we've just been to. It's a nice journey back from where we all started. From the very beginning of this sequence of this tour, now we're driving all the way back. It will eventually, we will find out where it all leads to. Well, hint is it's the beginning. Where it all started leads all back to the beginning. It's interesting, really. This world was pretty... It looks complex, but really, I just really had a lot of ideas that came to mind, and I really implemented it when I had the time. This thing is fast. The one thing that in in the older Roblox days was, you had train cart maps that you can play, and it would just be driving through long train tracks, and you could set it at whatever speed you want. It didn't matter, and it would still stay stable as long as it went straight. I am a train conductor, normal guy though. It's a really beautiful world. Only in the eyes of my eyes and my creation is this ever possible. In this game, Roblox. Yep. Peace is a lot. Or when it's around here. This does not need to be a 30-minute video. This is going to be a little longer in the case of being careful. I'm gonna put a dramatic camera for a bit, just so we can get an idea of the scale of this world. Yeah, it's a nice world. You almost forget this is Roblox when it actually is. I really try to make it possible to make it feel almost not like Roblox, but it is Roblox. At least in the older Roblox version, in the timeline from the older Roblox timeline, this was almost impossible to even look at. Maybe the modern version of Roblox is definitely able up on what is that word? I'm trying to think. On par with this. Just a magnificent world. You just don't get this every day. And it's truly sad to see that nothing can be applied. No one can visit this place. It is nothing but a storage compartment in the safe slots for Roblox's world creation studio. All of the worlds are unplayable. The 3 worlds that I've made, they are unplayable. They are outdated. They are too old. And it's really cool, the idea of an added grass field I've added. So see what this looks like in first person. Yeah, we're directly on top of the road. I can never forget the amount of hours it took to make this train track and to make it work. It's almost like you're on a power line. It's really cool. It's kind of like riding a power line almost. I love how expanded this line is. How stretched out the world is. How it's so simple. Such a simple mechanism, but it works really well in a world like this. This is basically 2D for you. Just from this perspective. Because of how large this road is, it really makes this train that's going high speed look real moderate. It does not look like it's actually going as fast as it's going. That's really what pays off with worlds like this to this scale. You would think it's driving normal from afar, but really it's going really fast. Now this is probably where I should start. Well, once I cross the mountain is when I should start slowing down. There's the military planes. It's truly quite a lonely desert. Desert, snow, mountain. Yeah, this thing is getting uncontrollable. I think I should slow it down just a bit more. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now it's at 50 right now. It was originally 60. Even just dropping it by 10, it's still running pretty fast. It looks so normal right now because of the scale. I like that so much about this. That's why I keep repeating it. Wish the world wouldn't do that. Here, oh darn. I guess it won't allow such a small little glimpse. Like, I guess not. Alright, that might be enough. There you go. There's the road. There's a long stretch in the desert. Truly peaceful. It's so unfortunate, really. No one can actually enter and experience this. Only me. That is, if Roblox in the future decides to allow outdated servers to be enterable, playable, but that's not really likely possible. That's kind of the sad thing. Unless they make another alternative Roblox version, or like another developer for Roblox, or an original developer for Roblox decides to reopen an older app, older Roblox version for everyone else to play. At least the veteran Roblox players. Before it turned all new and three-dimensional, everything three-dimensional. This reminds me a lot of like Nintendo 64 games in terms of texture and graphics. I find that really cool. Imagine being able to ski down the rest of these areas. You can ski or drive your motorcycle down this whole mountain world. That would be super fun. A world that involves mountains, driving down mountains, racing in mountains. It's quite a trip. This is really just meant for you to relax and just sit down, relax. You could watch it in your car, you could watch it at a park, watch it anywhere. You could use it even as background video for your favorite stuff or something. It's like we're all traveling to get somewhere. We don't know where, but this is the journey that involves wherever. It's already 17 minutes. That's how this is a long train. This train trip will take up the entirety of this video. It goes through all of the worlds. There's the road. And then there's the ocean. Now we're exiting out. So the rendering distance finally does not disappear now that we look back. It's really nice. And it's sundown. Sunset, sundown. It's about to be nighttime. This would really go well with like raining, snowing, but unfortunately the Roblox script, I don't really know how to do that. And just imagine being able to drive in the snow with this. This would be really cool. They have models, but I don't know how to. I wouldn't be able to do all over. That would take up the entire game space. For storage wise, if I had to put a bunch of model textures. Yeah, I'm tired. Tired dealing with life, but I'm managing. We're almost there. And I better make sure to slow down when I get there. I do not want to make the same mistake like last time. now it's nighttime. Play your favorite music or whatever it is you want to play. It's just like a credit sequence of a movie or something. It's pretty cool. Well, this could act as a credit sequence to the whole Second World Tour. You just put whatever music, insert whatever you listen to, and this will be your credits for this Second World Tour. Yeah, it's kind of lonely. I'm the only player here. I made all this, and I'm the only one that plays here. It is kind of lonely. It's also peaceful and pretty nostalgic. At least during like the last 2 years ago when I was still playing this for a little bit, and 3 or 4 maybe during the pandemic I was making all this, and I had some fun moments during those nights, late nights, staying up making this. It was fun. It was morally thinking about just having fun, not really making art or something. But this turned out quite like art almost, in a sense. But yeah, I was mostly just thinking about having fun. I was excited to, it's kind of funny. It reminds me of a time when I was playing Roblox during 2011. I was playing a world that allows you to build houses, and everyone else can build their houses. It's just all put together. And there's like plates of a large template of everything, and you can basically select a certain plot of that template square, that land, and you can build your own house around it. And that was fun. And the sad thing about it though is, like, I built all that and there was no one else to really be there to look at it and give me some feedback. And naturally, with each world that you build, it naturally resets all of it after you leave. I didn't realize that really at the time, so I would always get a little irritated whenever I built something that I thought was really cool, and then it would be gone the next time I came back. But what kind of hurt was how lonely it was when there wasn't anyone to visualize. That was like my passion, sort of my enjoyment that I really did back then. It's just building things, building world building, or making bases for something I wanted to share, to put in place for a zombie apocalypse. Now it's time to slow down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're at speed 40. Still fast though, but it's too fast for the turn. We're going to have to slow down eventually. We're at 40 now. Once we get to like half of that, then I'll slow it down again by 20. I'll double it this time. Set it to 20, back to 20, and then lower that further once it's close enough. We finally made it through the mountain. Now we're coming back to the snow, the depressive, snowy village, abandoned town. where everything somber and gloomy lingers. Truly remarkable, really. I really like that I came up with this idea just to make sort of like a credit sequence for this world after you go through the tour. I planned it as you drive all the way back to where it all began from part 1, and you get to visualize everything that you just experienced. That's what it was. All right. Oh, I gotta slow down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We're getting close to that turn. I do not want to risk failing this one. This is important. We cannot afford to fail this. There's the snowy place. 20. We're at 20 right now. And we can't afford to fail this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're at speed 10 now. We're not really fast enough for this. I forgot to mention, I don't really favor this mechanism that I've planned out for this area, how we're going to go across here, but it's a zigzag pattern, and it's kind of tedious process. You have to keep track of the speed and slow down and then speed up and slow down, or you could just run the whole way back slow until those zigzag patterns are gone. Like, I made it a sharp turn, unfortunately, so if it goes too fast, it'll derail. We could probably speed it up a little more till we get there. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We're already close to it now. 15. See, there's that over there, and then you'll have to do another turn, and that's going to be quite tedious. That's why this video is going to be longer than 30 minutes, simply because that's going to eat up most of the time. So we're at speed 15 right now. We're going to slow back down to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually, we're going to run at the default speed 8. Because this turn, I can't risk anything with this turn. We go too fast, we immediately fail. And that's the end. That's the end. I don't want to fail. There we go. Back to 15. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's a beautiful world, really. We cannot afford any failures right now. That's not what I'm affording. So we're at 15 right now. Let's go up to 20. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You just have to be a little more cautious with this one. You actually kind of have to pay attention a little bit when you're at this part of the experience. This is the part where you have to slow down. The very beginning is where you have to go. You can go fast, and you can send it. but now is where you have to like cautiously drive more slower, because this is a seriously long zigzag to deal with. I am not taking any chances. There it comes. We're almost there at that sharp turn. It's just right over there. This is the part where you could probably go somewhere, get something to eat, and then come back, because this is going to be quite a while. Just halfway there. This is probably where I'm going to turn it down. I'm going to slow it down. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. It's really cool to be able to get sort of a bird's eye view of this. Now we're coming further to this side. This one's shorter. I made it so that the straight lines are a lot longer and the right turns are slower. Or shorter, I mean. I should have made it more longer and make it less tedious, but I already made this world. I could redesign it in a way that works. I could rework this again. I don't really feel like it right now, currently. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh, that's already getting close. Just halfway there. I really should have extended this. This is going to be a while to deal with. This will probably be like your first 1 hour video of this tour. 1 hour, 2 hours. This is like a movie length of time that it's going to take. Alright, time to slow down. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15. Almost there. 15, we're at 15 right now. Alright, time to slow down. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Hey, there's the island. You definitely have to be patient for this one. If you are in for a long ride and you have nothing better to do, this is the video for you. Simple, slow, relaxing video. Kill time. You could even use this while you're studying or something. Alright, let's speed it back up. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Seriously, I don't know why I decided to make it a zigzag. Right. I didn't think about this. Before, I didn't know you could actually make it match like this road. I should have done that. instead of this. Before, when I was building this train, I didn't know the angles and the degrees that you can spin for it. I only knew how to press the R button in order to rotate these train tracks, but I never knew you could actually set them to tilt the same way this road is going. It takes a lot of editing, but I can basically duplicate this type of road and do that, make it so that it's enhanced and improved. Yeah, just enjoy yourself. Listen to music, eat, watch, whichever you want to do. It's like a reel running through a take-up. It's going at a certain pace, but it's going to eventually reach the limit. It's kind of like I'm kind of associating my work life with this. This is like it's always moving. In case it's not moving if there's something wrong, but when it's running, it's always like this. You always just sit back and you watch. Just keep an eye on things, monitor things, but that's basically the ins and outs of this. In the description, I'll probably put a timestamp for when this zigzag starts, and you can skip it to get towards further. Or you can put the speed of the video to 2 times or something. That way this goes by faster. Well, we're almost there. Time to slow it down. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15. Look at that. You're basically isolated in the ocean. And that's the idea of an island, really. I try to emulate to make it so it's really peaceful, a place to relax. You don't feel like you're in a lot of drama that in your life. You can escape and go here. Or you're playing with your friends and there's just chaos going on, so you want to go away. Okay, let's do this. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Yeah, say you're like having some serious heat. Getting some serious heat from your friends and they're causing a lot of trouble. And you decide, alright, I'm going to leave. I don't want to be wherever that is or wherever they're over there. I'm going to drive and I'm going to get all the way back here. And I'm going to chill. That's basically what you can do. Unless they teleport themselves there, and then you're in trouble. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This is a small price to pay, is to do this. This video will make it worth it. I'm glad that I'm filming this, because when I did play this by myself, it was such a troublesome activity to do this. I was like super tired, bored, trying to speed it up and then screw it up through the turns and derail and fall all the way down. But with this video, I have a reason to be patient. Yeah, feel free to speed this video up or something. I'm not really talking very much. At least I don't think I am. Yeah. The ending is sort of just like a turn on the page, closing a book, and a little hint of nostalgia. And then the sand mountain is, one sec, 13, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. The desert is more of an adventurous, curious side to this world that you can experience, to try to explore to this new wide space. The snowy side is meant to be something sad, some sad, dark theme underneath this world that you are left to encapsulate. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And this island is more just peace and solace and release from grief. Whatever is holding you tight, you can finally release. Release the pain, the stress of life, the static routine of getting up and going. You can finally let it slow down over here in this very island. Yep, this is gonna eat up the rest of the video. I will definitely add a timestamp in the description just to skip this if you don't feel like driving or watching this entire thing, this entire zigzag that I have terribly made. And yep, you can hit the timestamps. Or even just mute the audio and just listen to music or something. Yeah. My cousin. I don't know what it is. The world is always trying to make it so that it's super difficult for me to accept and let this person go. This person has been in my mind for a little over 10 years of just regret and disappointment in myself, realizing how there was so much to be had, but then I decided to be shallow. 1 second. Let's see, we're not there yet. Yeah, we're gonna slow down by 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I played this cold shoulder. I played the cold shoulder, and I got in turn an even more colder shoulder. Not because that is in their intention, but because life has made them grow, including me, and that has made us change. And because there's differences now, it's a lot harder to really get back to fixing that or improving that. We finally made it halfway. Yeah. I have no idea why this person is always stuck in my head. Everything else I've seemed to accept and move on, but this person, for some reason, is always right there in my head. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. It's just, they are always there in my mind. Always there. I'll never forget how it all started 10 years ago. 10 years ago is where it all started. This person, 1 second. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. This one might be too short for me to try to explain. Once we make this turn, then I'll try to explain a little bit about this critical decision that I've made that has made things so much more painful to deal with. We're almost there. Let's slow down. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15. Alright, let's slow down. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. And there we have it. I don't know how many more turns we have to go through. We'll find out by the end of this tour, this part. There you go. If you go faster than that, bam, you're dead. You're falling down. You're sky jumping. You're sky diving right into the ocean. The train alongside you. Nine, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah. It all started 10 years ago. Or maybe a little earlier than that. I don't know exactly. No, it didn't start 10 years ago. It started about 12 to 13 years ago, when I was in 3rd or 4th grade. I believe I was in 4th grade. It was like midsummer of 4th grade, after 4th grade, just finished 4th grade, turned 10 years old. And I was at my cousin's place. I'll say Jay's place, just so it's a little more easier structure. I was at Jay's place. We were all hanging out. Other family members from their parents' side came over, and we all just played like a game of hide and seek tag, freeze tag. Just ran around the house, just being young and stupid. And I just happened to watch Jay I don't know, get into a little argument with L1, and it was a small heated argument. I don't remember exactly what happened. I just know there was some conflict involved, and he was just upset. Jay was just upset. And then I was with B at the time. We were just me and him just hanging out. We realized that Jay and L1 had their other cousins from their other parents' side to hang out with. So it was just me and B. Me and B were just playing some games like Portal and just hanging to ourselves. Sometimes going outside, walking around. Like, I felt pretty moderate when that was happening. I felt normal, but I was something I noticed with B was he was just increasingly irritated. Not angry, just irritated. In the sense that, well, they're not there with us. J and L are not there with us. J and L1, they're not there with us, but we can't blame them. They have their other cousins to be around. And their other cousins are there for the purpose of their birthday. It's their birthday. So they're going to celebrate with everyone. It makes sense. But anyhow, it was me and B by ourselves. And then Jay, he was, whenever, 1 second. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Whenever me and B ever get into a solo conversation, one-on-one conversation where it's just both of us, just us two, we would have our conversation. And, well, Jay, he's significantly younger than us. But he always wanted to join our conversations, but he was always feeling too insecure about his younger age, our age gap difference, slight age gap difference. But he always wanted to join, but he never really could bring himself to. Sometimes he'll peek around the corner, he'll look at us, we'll notice him, and then he'll disappear. Let's just speed this up. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Anyway, will I have time to talk? Let's see. I don't think so. Give me a moment. I guess I'm kind of going at it like a confession almost. From my point of view. Maybe they'll understand if they ever watch it, if they ever get to watch this. But this is all from my perspective. I don't know what they were thinking exactly, or what my cousins were thinking exactly at the time. They don't remember. They won't remember, but I certainly did. They were really important in my life, really. They really were. Because I didn't really have any friends to hang out with. I never got to go to after school to hang out with them. Alright, let's slow down. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. Okay, that's not gonna work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I must have miscalculated. I guess I got too sidetracked with thinking about this slight confession, I guess. That's almost like a confession for myself. Seven. Might be too fast. 7. Ooh, that's scary. That is very scary. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Well, that was the situation that I noticed with Jay. My thoughts about Jay, well, I felt like Jay was a pretty rather fun individual, fun younger cousin, just to hang out, talk, play games with. But he was a little annoying sometimes. It's just that dynamic, cousin dynamic, where you find your little sibling or younger sibling a little annoying, except it's a cousin, so it's nothing too out of the ordinary. It's obvious that he admired us, thought we were really cool people because we're older, but yeah. He was mistreated by L1 in a conflict, and well, anyway, I almost forgot. I was just building my point. Now I'm forgetting what I'm trying to get to drive home. It's the point of that is that he thought we were really cool, and he wanted to join our conversations, and he also wanted our attention to him, naturally, as a younger cousin. And I think, I don't know what he was thinking. He might have felt some isolation, maybe some alienation when we were not around there with him, talking to him. And in his younger mind, he was feeling a little jealous. And so, in that heated little argument that he made with L1, his sibling L1, he performed a scapegoat or an exaggeration of a story. Okay, 1 second. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. He sort of like rused out a story about him being severely mistreated by his younger sibling, L1. And heck, it was kind of, it was quite a lot of information to take in. He was talking about how he was mistreated by his younger sibling, how his younger sibling was favorited more than him, how he was always experiencing super depressing things in his place by himself, or whenever he was mistreated by his younger sibling, L1. And in that same day when he was talking about it and he was crying about it, he was experiencing something well, what it looked like to me when I visualized it, we were playing hide and seek game tag, and Jay was hanging out with his his cousins from his parents' side who were around his age. I'm not really a big fan of them. I've had a couple of arguments with them, but it doesn't really matter. But once Jay was telling us about his situation and how he was upset and everything, he in his idea, I guess, of adding more attention for us to focus on him, he made it a story that one of his cousins from his parents' side is a arch enemy with him. I believe maybe he picked up on that, on how me and B don't really get along with his cousins from his parents' side. So he connected the dots there, and then he devised an idea, a story. And so he narrated this story about how this, we'll call him A1 was always mistreating him somehow, something, not exactly. We didn't really get exact proof. But when we were playing during a tag game, A1 was constantly going after Jay in this game of tag, hide and seek tag, and he's always trying to grab him by the shoulder or tackle him. Just basically play wrestling. Not really like anything serious, just sort of being a rugby tackle guy, a rugby football grappler of some sort. And yeah, he was telling the story. He was pouring out his emotions, and he was talking about how sad everything was for him. And well, B was kind of neutral on it. B's a rather logical and practical person with a level head. So he took this pretty neutrally, this story that Jay has put in there. As for me, once I saw some form of that rugby tackling from that A1 on Jay, I guess it just reminded me of a lot of troubles that I've had at home, where I've had like physical disciplinary actions done when I was younger, or when I was little, by my parents. And just something about that, when I saw that grappling and everything, I was just upset. I was really upset. And I regardless whether the story itself, I didn't need that much to convince me. Otherwise, I just saw that action of physical action, and that was what sent me into being an enemy with this A1 person. We would call him the devil. That's how it would start. It started off, I said, this little guy is the devil. He's the devil. I don't like him. We don't like him. He's the devil. And that was how it went for that whole experience. Not all of it. I'm just telling this as it goes. A1 is the arch enemy. L1 is the next enemy. A1's the devil. L1 is the enemy. That was what was in my mind at the time, around 4th to 5th grade. 3rd or 4th and 5th grade. I think 4th grade seems more accurate. I saw those two as those positions, the enemy and the devil. And, well, Jay, he was more than likely thrilled that he's getting his attention that he wanted from his older cousins, which I understand. I understand that. I understand that I understand the reason he did that. But anyways, as time went on through 4th and 5th grade, 5th grade I had a seriously bad year. Got in trouble. Got yelled at multiple times. Got serious trouble in school. Making poor grades. Really seeing how much of a idiot and uneducated fool I was, never being able to pay attention in class and never being able to learn anything, just wanting to have fun at recess. I think, alright, 1 sec. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I was thinking about how much of a fool I was, getting in trouble and everything. So that really like built up on my mental stability, my bearings in life, positive and negative bearings. I was experiencing that, so I was upset. But in one of those summers of 5th grade, Jay was talking to me. He was going through another sort of dramatic story to try and get my interest. And he did. He was talking about his karate teacher who tragically passed away when he was working in his backyard digging around a boulder to try and remove it, and that boulder happened to, well, gain some there was not enough traction, and the boulder, well, it slid, and it's a big boulder, and it happened, unfortunately, the karate teacher was at the spot where the boulder slid, and that was where he met the end of his life. And I searched it up, and my cousin told me it was real. Jay told me it was real, so I looked it up, and it was real. And he said that this person, wow, like, this guy was looking, he really wanted me to pay attention to him, and I understand. So when I bring this up, that's what should be thought when I bring this up. He said that the karate teacher died, but he also survived somehow. Looking back at this now, I laugh. I laugh, but I also laugh and just appreciate that his effort at trying. He came back. The karate teacher came back, all bandaged up, had a robotic arm. He lost an arm and he lost some form of limb or something. He had a robotic arm. He was all bandaged up, and he was in his last days to live, and he just said goodbye to everyone in the karate class. And Jay was telling me how he was crying about it. He got really sad. I as far-fetched as that sounded at the time, in my mind, I didn't mind if he was talking and he was making it all up. I didn't mind that at all. I was just glad to. I just wanted to pour some sympathy for this lonely guy, this lonely little guy, this lonely cousin that couldn't get as much attention from his older cousins. Like in terms of communication and social interaction and excitement and games, everything like that. So I understand that. I remember I was just sitting there really paying attention to what he was talking about. Not really thinking about fake or not fake. I just listened to him. I just sat there, acknowledged him. We had a talk in this computer room, and it was just a nice little long conversation. B and L1 were elsewhere playing together, and it was just me and Jay. And yeah, he told me about this karate story. And then, well, that's what fueled my fueled some of my more like support for him, and more aggravation towards his younger sibling L1 for being in that pretense, ungrateful and unfair towards his older brother, because his older brother experienced such troubling and traumatic experiences from what he was saying at that time. It didn't matter if that story was not real. What did matter was he was experiencing a lot of some alienation and some personal loneliness. And I understood that. I resonated with that because I had to deal with a lot of loneliness growing up in his age as well. I understood that. And that's why I never questioned him. I never argued. I never tested his claims or anything like that. I never did that. I just knew that he was feeling something similar to what I was feeling. So we already passed the ocean. Now we're back at the fairy tale place. And I think that's pretty cool. Cool perspective here. Where the Dementors are, the pursuing Dementors, and then now there's the fairy tale. I was going off for like a wizard wonder world, wizardry world, magic, and then there's like a little bit of a desert there, Initially, that's what I was trying to start with in the earlier points of this world build. And then I found out that cool large mountain. Then I was like, oh, okay, that's about as desert as I needed to be. But I kept this because it has a Western theme. Hey, there's the loop. There's the loop turns that elevate. We're already almost there. Jay. He was, so it fueled my aggravation for his younger sibling L1, and it fueled more of my disappointment and frustration and desire to kind of lash out on A1, because A1 was, well, I just made it up in my mind, or I just justified whatever feelings of aggravation that I was having for A1 through J. And yeah, he was considered the devil. Examples of what A1 has contributed to from what J was mentioning. Probably J himself did it. Why else would these things happen all of a sudden? And he would bring it up and he would be all surprised and all that. Tried to be really convincing. It's whatever, I don't mind it. So he told me one time, we were playing Minecraft. My cousin, just cousins, me, B, L1, and J. We were just playing Minecraft, building our own world, building our bases in this world, and then we finished it. We finished Friday, 10 to 11 o'clock came around, we had to go home. Next hangout, we came back. Jay mentions about how A1 planted like poop, and it was just like brown wool. 1 sec. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Jay said that A1 planted like poop around our bases, and it was basically just brown wools shaped in poop. And I was just aggravated, just playfully, I guess, or I don't know what I was feeling. I know I was just like playing along. Give me a sec. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Anyway, that was just the first act of A1 contributing to being the devil. The second act was when I had my dad get me a Lego set of an RV, a recreational vehicle with all sorts of things, and I had so much pride in this build. I was looking through the manuals, and just building this RV piece by piece. And then I happened to bring it over to my cousin's Jay's place. The idea was, and this was like, I think I was 4th or in 5th. I was 11 years old or 12 years old. And the idea was, I had a lot of nostalgia for an even earlier point in our lives. Even when we're already in elementary. I was thinking about 2010 when I was in 1st grade, or 2010 to 12. Back then, we went to B's place one point, and we were playing with Legos. He had a SpongeBob set of SpongeBob Legos, and we all had fun playing toys, and we made up a bunch of stories with that. Mostly J with L1 and B. I sometimes came in. We played with a lot of B's action figures, and I just had a lot of fond memories about that and nostalgia. Anyway, that all built up to the point of being able to make a Lego recreational vehicle. I brought it over to Jay's place and played it there, and I forgot to bring it home when I went home. So I went back for another birthday of J or L1, and I remember where I left it, and I went to the spot to where I left the RV, and was up the stairs, right by like a little fence railing, and there was a drop. There was a high drop to the floor from the bottom floor. And Jay went through his story and told me all about it and how it all led up to A1 pushing the RV through the stair railing, and it plummeted all the way down the floor. And it was just in pieces. It just fell in pieces and everything. I was definitely pissed off when I heard about that. I was super aggravated. I was thinking about how I wanted to tackle A1. I wanted to tackle this guy, this younger guy. Tackle him. Throw him up against a wall or something. And that would be... And just, I looked at that guy, that little younger guy, and I was fuming. I was looking at him, and I was so pissed off how I couldn't do anything because the parents were there, how such and such was there. I had like some bad thoughts in my mind, just how much I really wanted to wail on this little guy for freaking destroying my RV. And yep, I took it all in. I was pissed off. I took it all in. I was mad that day. I just was upset. Maybe I had experienced some physical altercation with my brother at the time, because I remember that all too well, getting a lot of arguments and getting hit on the shoulder by him. But that was probably the last time, like, the last of his stories, Jay's stories about A1. And the last thing that was related to A1, and then there's an A2 cousin that's part of it, and I do not get along with A2. I absolutely did not get along with A2. A2 was worse than A1, the devil. Guy was just little. A2 was always a controversial person. He's always hot-headed, always acted very cheeky, and that was just how he lived, and that's how he was raised. I just didn't connect very well with that, and he didn't connect with me very well either. Our energy did not mix very well. We were like oil and water, just couldn't get along. And so the last act that I've ever done for Jay, in terms of like fighting back for him, was when I was playing around at their house during a summer, and they had like an inflatable water slide, semi-water slide, and little base, and there was like climbable pieces to climb on to get up higher in the inflatable. And what I did was I grabbed a piece of bucket, and there's water balloons and everything. Everyone's like playing around with younger siblings, younger than me, younger cousins from their parents' side that are younger than me. And I grabbed a bucket, a small orange bucket, and I grabbed water off of the inflatable with the water pouring out, and I just dashed that bucket of water like swiftly right onto Alec. I don't know why I said that. I meant A1 and A2. I would constantly douse them with water buckets, like really full force, and that obviously stung. And well, the last thing that A2 said to me was, "You do that again, I'll beat you up," or something like that. And I didn't say anything. I was thinking I wanted to say, "Oh, I'd like to see you try," or something. But I never said anything. I always just laughed because of how I knew that I was aggravating people. That was just how I usually was back then. Just always laughing at them. And that was like the last side of the devil from Jay, I mean. That was my last act with Jay on the devil. B, however, did get into a little wrestling with A1. A1, we were playing hide and seek tag, all of us, and A1 tried to raise his arm, and he was trying to charge towards B. And well, B, knowing B doesn't mess around, really. He doesn't appreciate such things like that. So B ended up, while planting this A1 on the ground, put his knee on his chest and pulled his shirt with one hand, and he was holding A1's other hand down, and he was like pinning him down, just staring dead eye into him. B is intense. Anyways, he was pinning him down. Like, there was like younger siblings from Jay's cousin's side, from his parents' side. They're all crowding around, standing and observing and cheering and like going intense, like whoa, 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 whoa. And I'm standing in the back like I always have been. Like in a lot of movies, I'm just that one character, that ghost that kind of just observes time as it unravels in front of me. It's like standing at a frozen part of time, and then you just click the play button and it all just happens right in front of you. That was how I felt watching all of this happen. I never got involved. I never tried to break the fight. I never did anything. I just watched. And that was like the last ever like contributing act from me and B in terms of Jay's arch nemesis cousin, A1, aka the devil at the time. Now we are gonna go to his sibling, L1. We already told the story of L1 mistreating him and saying that his parents favorited L1 more than him. How he cried, how he went into a crying fit about it, got really upset. And before any of that, I was thinking about L1 as like relatively normal. A normal cousin. A little annoying, like just that same younger family member dynamic where they always want your attention, they want to be around you at the time because they had nothing really else to do at that time in the house. They wanted to see their older cousins. Moderate, like a little annoying, but I didn't mind her. Like I still wouldn't mind just talking and hanging out at that time. I just wanted to play something. She always wanted to play with us. Very much like Jay in the sense of hanging out with the older cousins. That admiration. But anyway, ever since that story about L1 and then everything else that happened with the devil, I already was out for blood. I was already hating every single one of them. B just didn't like A1. He was okay with A2, and he was fine with L1. He never had any issues with L1. So when Jay was trying to talk to me and B about L1, well, B wasn't truly convinced. He wasn't really buying any of it. He was just he had a feeling that Jay was just putting it all together to justify needing his attention. But anyway, B wasn't buying it, but I was like kind of neutral. I just mostly put a lot of my personal experiences into that. I transferred a lot of my personal feelings and experiences and trauma into his sad isolation, his alienation from us. So regardless if I believed it or not, I just knew I was siding with Jay. I was siding with Jay, whatever the case. So B was fine with L1. Me, I made this terrible plan, this majorly life-changing decision to simply disassociate from L1. And if L1 ever tried to initiate any sort of conversation or a friendly act, I would simply just give L1 the cold shoulder or give L1 a frown, give L1 any sense of dislike from me, and I would find whatever way to make L1 pay back for the injustice that L1 gave J, under that presumption. And L1, well, L1 didn't know any better. L1 was the youngest one out of us three. L1 had no idea, didn't remember at all, doesn't remember any of it. And it's probably better that way. But L1, I was giving L1 that karma, that bad karma. And yeah, that one time when we all went home from Funtown Splashtown, it was just me, Jay, and L1. I don't know if B was there. Maybe he was there. Yeah, he was there. He came at a later point in the day, during the afternoon. And B got dropped off at his place, and then I was the last one to get dropped off. And this is a very hurtful memory for me, thinking back at it now. It was a very hurtful memory, a very sad memory, really. I got dropped off, and when I got out of the car, I said bye to Jay, and L1 was trying to say bye back to me, trying to say goodbye to me, and instead of saying goodbye back, instead of doing that, I just ran to my door and just stood. And I remember the last thing I heard as I was running was her beginning to weep in tears. She was beginning to cry. And then they drove off. And at the time, I was just laughing in my mind. I was thinking, oh, in your face for treating Jay like terribly. Being a terrible sibling to Jay. That's what I was thinking. I was like, laugh. Then the next hangout or so, I was talking to Jay about it, and he was laughing about it and all that. Obviously, he was just playing along, really. I know he probably had no ill will towards his sibling L1. But, yep, ever since that moment, that was like 5th or 6th grade, just before 7th grade. And, yeah, I was thinking I was doing really good payback. And, oh yeah, here's the very beginning world. Here's the first world. First world, from where it all began. There's the air carrier, the fighter jet, the air carrier, and then there's this very long pillar. What it was all about? Well, this is where it all led to. This is where it all led to. See, we came full circle all the way back to where we all started from the very beginning. There's the lighthouse, and there's the ocean, there's the air carrier. But, yeah, ever since that moment, that's what changed everything for me. It wasn't until later that, in 7th grade or so, Jay's cousins from his parents' side, his dad's side, it was just this one hangout that happened in the summer of Jay's birthday. And I still didn't get along with A2 or A1. I still didn't like them. B, however, eventually grew over some of that animosity that he had towards A1, and that was the end of that. But for me, it was 7th grade, had that birthday for J or L1, and I saw A2. He was talking smack to B, and it escalated to A2, A2, throwing the controller toward at B, and it hit B either on the shoulder or on his head. I was ready to deck that guy. I was ready to deck A2. I was ready to floor him right on the spot, but I didn't do it. We still had our remarks back and forth towards each other, still telling each other to shut up and all that. There's the lighthouse, and then there's the air carrier. It's really cool. You're like, this is humongous, but from up here it's like really tiny. There's the hut, the hot springs, and then there's the little mansion. There's the Chernobyl area, and we finally made it to the end. Hey, there's a glimpse of everything. In the next video, I'm probably gonna start from here and then come all the way back, and I'll continue this confession. Yeah, I gotta remember it started off when I was in 7th grade. Jay's confession this time. So I gotta remember Jay's confession. Here we are. Finally, the end. Wow, would you look at that? We finally made it to the end. We made it all the way up here. What you have here, it's just like every other end of the obi in a classic Roblox game. You're inside, you finally drive a plane, you drive a train, and you ride all the way back to the end of something, and there's always these cool little things here to celebrate. Here's a water fountain. Here's a couch, little couch to relax on, to gaze at your victory of your journey. Here's a dance floor, colorful dance floor with really nice lighting. And that was my vibe. I was trying to give good old Roblox vibe. And then here's like your secondary train that you can go to ride off to the very end, from the start all the way to the end. Here's your Roblox sign. This is exactly how Roblox was designed in terms of wording and word design. This is what the classic Roblox design was. And yeah, I just added this here. I liked it adding. I liked the sign. I liked it. It looked super nostalgic, and I figured I would add it. So there you have it. We finally reached the end of this whole journey. This 11 to, I think 11 or part 12. Let me see. This 12-part journey. Yeah, this is a little longer than like the first world. This 12-part journey. And yeah, that was I hope you enjoyed, viewer, tourist. I hope you enjoyed. It's quite a journey for me as well, just recording all this. I'm still making more. I just wanted to say that this was a journey, this whole train trip. There's the air carrier. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Hope it was a pleasant, interesting experience. Cretans or non-Cretans, don't sound the siren. I am to be welcome, and I am out.